Hi there, and welcome to Teacher's Perspective. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about the secret to behaviour management. Now, that might seem like a bit of a clickbait sort of title or introduction, but the thing is, there really are some key aspects to behaviour management that are rather uniform across all sectors of teaching, regardless of whether you're teaching younger children, older children, children from different parts of the world. These certain things, these certain aspects of your behaviour management strategy really do work in all cases. So I suppose this video is maybe a little bit for teachers who are maybe at the start of their practice or just interested in learning more and expanding their skills, but also for parents just to find out how do teachers maintain that control and ensure that behaviour doesn't spiral out of hand. So the very first thing I'm going to talk about is it's about the teacher really just keeping their cool. Now, if you are a teacher that is always pretty hot-headed, they're anxious and worried about what's going to be happening, and you're always feeling that you're in anticipation of children's behaviour spiraling out of control or causing problems, then that sort of emotion and that vibe, if you like, really rubs off on the children, and they notice that this teacher isn't comfortable, and they feed off that energy in a way that is usually quite negative, especially for children in the class that themselves feel a bit uncomfortable in the social setting. It doesn't make them feel safe and secure, and they may choose to act a certain way. And particularly for children who might want to display some negative behaviours, see that as their opportunity and realise this teacher, I can handle them. They're a little bit scared and I can definitely get one up on them. But if you are able to keep your calm, remain as the adult in the situation, which you are as a teacher, then you can make sure that you can make the best decision in every single situation. You don't want to be making a decision out of fear or out of spite or out of anger, because it's probably not going to be a very good decision. You want time to properly think about what has happened, what might a suitable consequence be, or what might a suitable action be, just to bring down and dispel the situation that's arising within the classroom. So maintaining composure and staying cool in that situation is really, really important. The next thing I've just mentioned about consequence there, but the next thing is to do with reinforcing behaviours rather than punishing behaviours. In times gone by, a lot of people have talked about punishment being the best way to get rid of negative behaviours. It's seen as a deterrent. If you do this bad thing, something worse will happen to you. And I do think there are situations where that is necessary. A negative consequence must come after an action that has been taken, something that has gone wrong, where a child has done something that they shouldn't have. You do sometimes need to have negative consequences for them. That may be staying in at break time or lunchtime, or missing out on something that they quite enjoy. Children do need to understand that there are negative consequences when you do something wrong, because that just helps prepare them for the real world. But in terms of your day-to-day behaviour within the classroom, wanting children to do the right thing, by far the most effective way of doing that is reinforcing the positive behaviour that you want. If you want the children in your class to be looking at the front at all times, you want them to be completely silent, and you want them to be doing that, then first of all, that's your decision as a teacher. Not all teachers want that. Some teachers are okay with a little bit of conversation or a little bit of discussion within the classroom. Maybe they want children to be taking notes or something like that. That's really depending on the teacher. But if that is what you want children to be silent, you want them to be staring at the front and concentrating the whole time, then you reinforce that behaviour, that when you see it, when you see a child displaying the behaviour that you want, you reinforce it. You give them some kind of reward. You say, thank you very much, that's lovely sitting there, thank you for looking this way. Well done, you've just earned yourself 2 house points, or whatever it is that teachers use as their reward system. This is really, really important because it makes the children realise, oh, if I do this behaviour, I get something good out of it. And it's far more effective, especially in the short term and the long term, for ensuring that you get the behaviour that you want. Again, that's really down to the teacher of what kind of behaviour they want within their classroom. So, after that, I really want to speak about the importance of being personal with your class. You are one of the adults that sees this child almost more than anybody else. They'll have their parents or carers, whoever it is that's at home, and you're probably the next person on that list of who they see the most. And it's a bit strange if you don't form some kind of personal, but still very professional relationship with them. They're children at the end of the day, and you want to make sure that you have got some kind of emotional connection with them. And by far, the best way of dealing with children who may be displaying negative behaviours or behaviours that are quite disruptive, they're going to display those behaviours more for a teacher that they have no connection with. If they don't have a positive relationship with that teacher, why would they care about behaving in their class? However, if you are confident in being friendly with them, you're having nice discussions with them, you've shared experiences together, then that's really, really helpful for ensuring that child needs to know that they can trust you, that you are someone who does want to have a positive impact, positive influence on their life. And sometimes children, not all children come from a background that has been particularly constructive for them or particularly nice for them to live in. And coming to school can be really a safe space for them where the teacher is someone that is very personal and very kind to them. And really, the difference between children's behaviour when they have a teacher that they don't know and a teacher that they do know is vast. There's always a huge discrepancy within that behaviour, and that really does go for almost all children, even children that are generally quite well behaved. Generally showing the behaviour that you would expect within the classroom. Sometimes they can do things that they wouldn't normally do just because they've got a teacher in front of them that they don't really know that well. So really being personal with the kids, again, making sure it's still very professional within the boundaries of being a teacher, it really just helps form that connection with them. And I think the best way to do that is to go through the parents and make sure that you know the parents as well. Go and spend time with them. Go and, at the end of the day, when you're dismissing the children, go and speak to the parents. One thing I've really noticed coming out and living in the Middle East is, this is a bit of a side note by the way, going out and living in the Middle East, is that the connections that we have with the parents is far stronger than what I'd experienced when I was in the UK. And I think it's a really positive thing because you're able to show that child that you matter not only to them, but also to their parents. And that really helps within the child's mind create a different sort of perception of you as a teacher. And then finally, it's linked to the relationship in a way, but showing that you really do care about this child and actually caring about this child. Children very quickly realize if their teacher is upset with them or doesn't particularly like them, and they can form these ideas that, oh, this teacher doesn't like me, they treat me like this way or that way. You may have experience like that from your school days as well. But it's important, apologies, my cat's going on one there. It's important to really show that child that you want them to succeed, you want them to do well, and that when you're reminding them of their behaviour, when you're trying to reinforce a certain behaviour, or even when you're giving them a consequence, you take the time to speak to them. You don't just give the consequence and leave. You make sure that they understand why you took the actions that you did. So, hopefully you've found some of the information within this video useful, you found it interesting. If you are interested in finding out more about what happens within school, then please follow our TikTok, have a look on Instagram, we have Twitter as well. And very pleased to announce that we have a book that you can now download from Amazon. You can also order the paperback version on Amazon, and you can get it from the Apple Bookstore. And it is called Teacher Perspective, Teacher Truths for Parents and Pupils. Really, really pleased with what we've got in this book. And it's got so much information from home learning to behaviour management to the core subjects of maths, writing and reading, things that you can do at home as a parent, but also explaining to teachers, perhaps new teachers, things that happen in school that you might not really have found out from university as well. So please take some time to go and have a look at that if you are interested, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.